So, dear Dhamma friends, as I mentioned, when you practice meditation, so remember little by little, try to be free yourself. And that is the highest that I can teach. And not to follow any teachings. Be completely yourself. So in the beginning, maybe it is a little bit complicated, but if you keep practice to the highest level of your awareness, to the highest level of your effort, and to the highest level of your attention, and you will see it going to happen. You're going to experience something. And so with that, as you know, thousand years, and people used to knew this life is kind of like suffering, and there is no satisfaction. And people used to look for solutions. Even before the Buddha, people were looking for many ways. There should be something beyond this all. And when it comes to your life, have you ever thought how and in which point you start to look for the Dhamma or the reality? Just Dhamma means not I mean just ordinary level of common understanding. From where you start really getting to the path of liberation. Even though this Dhamma is available, teaching is available, why people cannot get this? Why people are not into that path? Even people have many free times. Some people go and sleep. Why they don't practice meditation? And even the people have many facilities. Maybe they go and eat. Why they don't practice little bit, at least 5-minute meditation? Why some cannot get into path where the transformation happens? What is the main ingredients you need to get into the path? Because without that, even just you become closer to Buddha, you're not going to get it. It happened with the many characters during Buddha's time, like Prince Ajatasattu. And he used to come and have a conversation with the Buddha, but he couldn't get the message. There are a lot of monks used to be around the Buddha, and there are some attendants that there was a monk before the Venerable Ananda, and he used to help the Buddha, and like the Buddha's personal attendants, but he went away. How it is possible? Why this happened like that way? So even you forget about the Dhamma regarding the enlightenment. Even in day-to-day life, when there is a truth come to you, and sometimes you try to share it with your family members, your husband, wife, children, or parents, or brothers, sisters. Why somebody cannot get even that common truth, that common understanding? Why someone else can get? Where the difference arise? So even yourself, if you practice meditation sitting, why you do this? From where you start? Have you ever thought? Because we try to tell other people to do this like that way. Why somebody else don't want to do it? So when it comes to deep understanding, we all live according to our self views. So that is the foundation for each and everyone's lives. So remember, don't try to cross the self view. It's like without passport, you're trying to get into another country. You cannot do that. It is illegal. You get punishment. So it's like you trying to cross someone else's territory or the kingdom without any permission. And as you know that in the ancient time, people, the king used to carry the flag, telling that whatever the kingdom belongs to that person. So even the ships, when they sail through the ocean and when they enter to the different countries, the very first thing what they does, they start to show that country's flag, and it's kind of like showing the surrender. So the self view also kind of like that. Everyone, their lives from the birth and even they in the samsara, they have their self view already lay out, and they becoming on that self view. So the very first thing, remember, you cannot cross someone else's self view. In the beginning, you have to respect it. If you don't know that, that's why you go to argument. So you cannot argue regarding the dharma, regarding this. So Buddha never had arguments. Buddha had conversations during his whole life. When you look at, he never had any argument. Look how beautiful it is. And he used to had he used to deal with the people, most difficult people, even the demons, the most dangerous people. They more dangerous than wild animals. And even with the deities, angels, and even the human in the human realm, they were different kind of people. But still, he never had the argument. He always had the conversation. So when we have the self view, the mostly we knowingly or unknowingly we go to arguments. So remember yourself, by arguing yourself, when you go to arguments, you cannot understand the people. So especially regarding the right things, why people cannot come to this path like that way. To get into that, you need something. So what is that? So that is self-interest. If the self-interest is not there, remember, you cannot give this to people. So how this self-interest arises? From where it arises? The mostly it arises when you recognize your self-view is not right. Then you start to look for something. So that's why mostly when the people start to come to look for the truth once they fail inside them. When everything works according to the way they think, they will never understand this Dharma. If everything nice, if everything beautiful around them, they're not going to understand the reality of the world. It is something else. It is an illusion. If everything go nice and beautiful, happy, it's always sunshine, it's always summer, it's always happy, it's illusion. It cannot be like that. Why? The very worldly nature itself is always changing, always changing. So the very important thing, the beginning of this spiritual path is self-interest. The person from the beginning, the person it's himself, herself need to understand, I want to find. That need arise when your self-view break down. If the person's self-view become so high, strong, it is very difficult to get in. So there is a sutta called the Sotapatti Phala Sutta. In this Sotapatti Anga Sutta, Sotapatti Anga Sutta. So the Sotapatti means high mental powers like absorption, first absorption, second absorption, third absorption, and the fourth absorption, and the enlightenment. So the beginning is the first absorption. So how you can get into this first absorption? There are 4 things you need. The first one is called Kalyana Mitra. You need a friend. You need a good friend to get into path. Mostly yourself cannot do it. By 100% yourself, sometimes it is very difficult. Maybe some people can. It's not going to be kind of like without anybody. If I say without anybody you cannot get it, it's not like that. And sometimes for some people it can, but mostly you need a good friend to get into the path. So that is one thing. And the other one is listening to Dharma. And you have to develop a listening, and listening to Dharma means to Buddha's teaching. So go to the sutras and listening to sutras, not the monks' ideas. So whatever the ideas we talk, or whatever the our views we talk about, oh, I think like this way, right away you have to drop that. Why you have to know someone else think? Because you also have the mind. Why you need to follow someone else's thought? So when it come to even the lot of monks and the lot of teachers, lot of gurus, and when they try to talk the Dhamma, and they just tell their ideas. Why? Because they also in that self-centered view, and they try to give people their views, and the people start to follow someone else. When the monks disappear, all the disciples and get disappointed. So, or if the guru not talk, the disciples get disappointed. Don't be like that. This path always, each and every moment, be free yourself. And don't follow anyone else's ideas. Be careful, especially yourself deeply in this spiritual practice. Don't be a bias or don't be a debtor to somebody like that. If you are able to get into sutras and get into the sutras and even don't tangle with the words. Beyond the words, there is a meaning. So that's why we practice meditation, and through practicing meditation, you develop the mental capacity, and then there is a way that you can go beyond the meaning of the words, and you can get the essence of the sutras. And more sometimes there are things and divided part by part, but when you to get into the real meaning of the sutra, you have to absorb that everything as one. If you try to understand it part by part, you will never understand the meaning of the sutra. So it's like that. So the Srutame Jnana means the listening to the teachings mean Buddha's teaching, sutras. Another one is the clear comprehension. So that way also you can get into the Dharma. When you, as I mentioned, the clear comprehension means, Sati Sampajanya means, your mind is not bound to any teachings. That's what I mentioned in the beginning. Your mind completely become free from your past. In this very moment, to the 100%, you function, and with the awareness. So in that moment also, you recognize the mostly teachings trying to get you to that level. Another one is the right discipline. Dhamma, in Pali it called Dhamma Dhamma Patipada. That means you become a disciple and you develop discipline according to the goal that you want to reach. It is not just become discipline. If you want to attain to the enlightenment, you have to follow certain kind of protocols with your discipline. If you want to become somebody else, and then you have to follow that kind of discipline. So like that, Dhamma Dhamma Patipada means according to the Dhamma, when you want to attain to the Samadhi tranquility state, or if you want to attain to first absorption, second absorption, third absorption, or the fourth absorption, or the Arahanta, you have to follow certain method. You just cannot keep following something else and expecting certain kind of different result. So those are the four things that you need to develop this spiritual path. So in that beginning, we mention the prince. The prince, and when we say friend, we just thinking about mango friend. Always they become nice, happy, and they always accept who we are, and they allow us to do whatever we want. So like that, we have idea when we say friend. But when it comes to this dharma, and sometimes friend come as like an enemy. Why? Because as I mentioned, to get into this path, you need to recognize that whatever yourself view is wrong. And sometimes people come to your life to teach you the lesson, teach you what you think is not right. And sometimes people come to teach you this life is suffering. So it can be your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, your friends, not far away some other people. The Buddha himself, he mentioned this life is suffering. But mostly other people, when we have the community around us, mostly when they appear in front of you, they always trying to mention, oh, life is good, everything okay, I'm fine. If you ask, how are you? Oh, I'm doing good. So like that, in conventional level. No one tell anything about others, themselves to others. And mostly we ourselves is like actors, and we always have the mask ourselves when we go to outside, especially for friends and even visiting friends, and whoever visit you or you visit them, mostly everybody like to show the nice part of the life. That is common. But who can teach you the very ugly and the truth and very difficult part of life? And sometimes the very people very close to you, and they are the one who teaching you what you believe regarding this life is not true. And sometimes people say, my life is a hell. And I ask, why? What happened? And then they talk about their husband or wife or their children or their parents. So I tell that is why, because they are the one who can teach you this life is what you think is not what the real life. So then they are the one who you have to take as Kalyana Mitra. Why? Because they are the one who teach you the reality. And remember, no one can hold a personality. Even though in conventional life we say the personality, the whatever our lifestyle. No, in a deeper level, in the Vipassana level, if you look very carefully, no one can have a personal personality. Why? Because we all are product of nature. And then whatever come out of us, it should relate it with the nature. We cannot perform anything not belong to nature. So then if you see something through somebody, remember, it is not that person. You see the nature of the world, not the person. So once you understand this, and then you recognize whoever give you hard time, whoever give you difficult time, whoever break your heart, whoever put the barriers on you, whoever make you difficulties your life, whoever make you hell your life is the best friend. That's the Kalyana Mitra. Why? Because they are the one who teach you this, what you think is not true. Your self-view is not right. What you believe is not going to work. And then you look for the solution. Then you come to the Dharma. So otherwise, if everything nice, if everybody cheer you, if everybody accept you, you will never look for meditation. Look everywhere. So then remember, and rather than thinking about enemies, rather than blaming to others, rather than fighting with others, and if anybody giving you hard time, if anybody try to put you into difficult time, if anybody make your life hell, and from today, keep them in the highest place in your heart and appreciate that. Why? Because they are the one who taught you your self-view is wrong. That is why they are the one who direct you to put you to this spiritual path. That's why you're looking for solution. That effort will take you to liberation. So then in the Sotapanna Anga Sutta, in the first one is the Kalyana Mitra, the good friend. So in good friend, it come in two different ways. As a nice person can come, maybe can come to you. Another thing is, remember, mostly for most people, they can come to you as the demons, or they try to make your life hell, and then you start to look, what is this? How it happened to me? Why I experienced this? That is the beginning of your spiritual path. If the person don't look that way, they will never ever understand this. How? Because they keep enjoying and going with their self-view. So remember, the very beginning point of your spiritual path is breaking down your self-view. It mostly come out of when you break your hopes. And it happened mostly with your loved ones, around your very close ones. And when it happened to you, never have the anger, and always appreciate that. And they are the one who kind of like guardian angels come to your life and showing you are wrong. So that is the greatest lesson we can get to our life if you look for the Dhamma. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava ettavata cha ammehi sampadang punya sampadang Sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. So thank you very much.